of the sandy color tone that's on the that I use acrylic paint for Mia. It is not too heavy on the sand, on the color tone, but it's not bad because I don't know if you guys can see this properly. Let me zoom in a bit. Bad. By the way, I don't know if you guys noticed this spray booth not flowing well. I think it needs to be re-cleaned again. You gotta clean this like at least a couple of times. I've been neglecting cleaning it because sometimes when I finish painting, I don't go back to redo it again or, you know, clean it up. And that's kind of my fault. So once I'm done with this, it'll be re-cleaned. So this part was part of the waist unit, which I painted the other side one darker color tone, but the other side has this side, so that way it doesn't show that, you know, it shows darker on the inside than on the out. Same thing with this. Need to put more paint in the reservoir. Yeah, because this is pretty good. I thought I messed up on this, but no, now it looks okay. I'm glad that I choose this color tone than a regular white tone because EZ8 has that creamy white tone to it. So I'm glad that I decided to use this color than a regular Gundam white or MS white. MS white would have worked because it has an eggshell type feel to it. Has anyone had experience using MIG paints before? I mean, it's the darker tone. Here we go. I've always had success with MIG paints. I even have one set that's all metallic, which is I want to try out one day. Just don't know which kit to use on. And I've been in the mood to paint metallic parts for a very long time. Alright, so right now everything looks good. Looks good. Let me continue on with the parts that I've already prepared. I have the ones that I masked. And we'll move on to the next stage of this painting. Give me some time to work with what I got. Alright, so the next color that I'm going to do is the medium blue, MIG 103. And you know what? I kind of realized that maybe thinning is not required. I did a little experiment going back to the other paint that I used, the bone, and if it's properly, if your airbrush is, flowing well and you have a good pressure, you can actually spray this paint without thinner. With that being said, let's try it with the blue. Pretty well. I know that it's a bit wet, but eventually when it dries it should even out. Now I did paint this side, but I'm going to paint this side here, so I gotta be very you know what, I may have to take this off because I now realize that actually no, I can actually paint these sides because it's going to be covered up by the other part. So let's do this first. Good. Didn't grab the other side. And I was able to precisionally paint that side. Okay. That's good. Hang on a second. Yeah, let's get the heel. Good. That's actually not bad. Alright, so let's see about this guy. Ran out of paint. Gotta be very careful. I don't want to like over spray it, because then you have a gloss tone to it, and then you're gonna have to mat it up a bit just to even it out. What I think I'm accidentally doing right now without realizing it. Hopefully. I know that when acrylic paint is a little wet, when it dries, it looks a lot better. Now the shield, I painted the edges bone. This is in the cross metallic. This is the one around the cross. I'm gonna paint it this color. Hopefully, let's see how it looks when it dries later on. I have a few more parts to paint blue, and this is actually one of the parts that's in the chest, which is not blue. It's a little different tone, so I'm going to pull out a grayish tone. But I'm not going to show that, because just to show the remaining few parts will take a lot of time. You know, not necessary. The minigun will be painted a different color tone, which I'm going to pull out in a minute. And then the next part will be some hand painting, which I hope you guys will enjoy once I'm done with this. So give me a moment to finish it up. Okay, so while we're waiting for parts to dry, the last few parts that we need to work on is the face, mainly the eyes, because the eyes and that chin is the only part of this kit that needs to be red, and the only red that I'm going to be using right now is blood red. I'm gonna put a few drops in here, or 2 drops, that'll be fine. Now I could probably use a toothpick, but I'm going to use this very, very small little brush. I don't know how well my hands are. First we're going to begin with that little guy right there. Paint it down a bit. It is a bit wet. Let me just pat it down a bit more. I know that there's a little bit there that I get to the side. Let's see how well I can do this. I need a little bit more zoom in, because I know I made a mistake here, but I could probably fix it up. Let me just take care of the eyelids, because it's all red. Alright, that's good. Now the cool thing about this is I can probably get away with the eyes around it using a black marker. Or a Gundam marker, which is kind of a little bit more precision than this. Oh, a second here. Here we go. I got it. Alright, that's fine. I'm going to probably use a toothpick to clean up that little notch there. The sides are fine, so that's good. It's kind of hard to do it, especially, you know, with what I got. I'm going to actually put a little bit more here, and then that way later on, when I use the marker, I should be able to grab the other side. Here we go. So let me wait until this dry. I'm going to give it a good 24 hours. Then I'm going to use the black marker to go around it. I'll get probably, you know, a toothpick to clean up a little bit of the edges there, and we'll go from there and see how it looks. So give me some time to work on this. Alright, so here are all the parts that make up the high grade Gundam Ez8. I've already finished painting them, reviewing them, making sure everything is good. Two parts are not here, and that's the parts that's actually connected to the back of this, or here, which I thought I painted, but I did not. I'll take care of those in a moment. Began to do a little panel line marking here and there. Specifically, of course, the head or the face of this. Let me show it to you. Which I did begin to put a little panel lining there, but I forgot that if you're going to use the marker, it's going to be a little messy. And first time I made kind of a mistake there, which is no big deal, but I did cover up the eyes, as you could see there, so that's taken care of. At the same time, I was actually putting on panel line marking on like something like this here in the areas that I scribed off, but I kind of realized, no, maybe that's not a good idea to do that. I may have to pull out a little bit of the paint, the bone color paint, which I'd actually put it back in its packaging, and retouch it up again. Just do a light pass here and there. Now that I realize that if you're going to use paint from MIG Ammo, you want to definitely not thin it down. I didn't realize that. I mean, I know that MIG Ammo has made thinner for this, specifically for their products, but it actually works without thinner. Didn't know, of course. These are, you know what, I may have known, I just never bothered to, follow through. But in case anybody who does not know what I use this set for this kit, which came out okay. Oh, and that's another thing. Even though I used blue, that is not now blue anymore. I actually found the marine blue. I thought I lost it, and then I found it. It was like next to a box that it must have fell off. I didn't realize that. So I retouched up the blue again with the marine actually. That gave it a little more darker tone here, and it flatted out, because when you spray paint that type of color from MIG Ammo, it'll look wet, but when it dries, it flattens out. Unless it says gloss, it won't be glossy unless you really, really try, and it's kind of hard to do that. I also kind of discovered the fact that it's not a good idea to use masking tape on this kit, because it does leave a weird artifact of the glue that's left over from the paste. Now, what you can do, and I remember having a similar situation like this with one of the AK products. If you take a cotton swab and douse it with a little bit of alcohol and lightly pass, it will remove some of the leftover markings, or the glue, you could say. So that will work to a certain degree. So I guess when you finish painting using MIG Ammo colors, top coat it, get it done. Don't worry about it. Finish it up, top coat it, then detail it up a bit, and then you'll be good to go from here on in. But yeah, I mean, everything looks good. Everything that you see here is good. I'm kind of happy with this color. It's not what I expected, but it is a bone color tone, which is similar to the color tone that's basically what you see on the manual. This shows a little more a whitish tone, but this one has that very, very light grayish tone. Sorry, creamy tone, you could say. Bone color, you could say. So, alright. With the little detail parts here and there that I put on from Wave and Kotobukiya and MGS. We get more detail. Well, with that being said, let's put all the parts together and see how it looks fully assembled.